Hello everybody, this is Synchursus here, and I finally, what I am going to call finished my ARC build. I technically never got a 6 link on my Pledge of Hands, but I'm pretty happy with my ARC build. I hit level 90, so that's pretty much the biggest thing, right? I hit level 90, I got, for the most part, the gear I wanted, and I'm going to talk about the things that went wrong with this build, and how I fixed them. So whether you followed or watched or whatever my 2.1 arc build that I made prior to the release of 2.1, you will notice a glaring difference between the builds. Mainly that the first version used Tri-Curse on Blasphemy with Arctic Armor and was non-crit, among a couple other things. That obviously didn't happen. They changed the Blasphemy curses without really honestly a fair warning. I still tried to force the build to make it work. I still think you could have done that build. I could have done that build, but not without a bit of foreplanning, because I didn't know that the blasphemies had changed, So it's really unfortunate. If I wanted to do that build the way that I originally did it, I would have suggested to either use some reduced mana on the tree or a level 2, maybe level 3 lane. I don't know what's needed in order to get your reservations to go Tri-Curse Blasphemy and drop the Arctic Armor and still go Tri-Curse. I would have done that instead, but that's not how that happened. I also would have gotten a well-rolled pair of Repentance Gloves. But that's not how that happened. That's not how I fixed it. How I fixed it was I decided to go crit instead of non-crit. I'm still using a Pledge of Hands. I am going crit with Controlled Destruction as my link. As you'll see that my gems aren't actually leveled all the way. It's because I reset most of them. I did get a level 21 arc. That's nice. I corrupted 5 arcs. One of them turned 21. So I do have a level 21 arc. And I am using Controlled Destruction with a Pledge of Hands, and I'm still hitting about 40% crit chance. So the crit is more or less just to deal with tanky mobs more than AoE clear. We'll quickly go over my talent tree. I'm not going to link it in the description, probably, because I linked it in the previous video. I'm just going to quickly go over it. I come out through the cast speed. I could go through spell damage, but I have Pledge of Hands on. I have enough spell damage on my weapon to not need to grab the spell damage. I'd rather have the cast speed. I decided to go this way through practical application. It's nice. It prevents some stupid deaths. Obviously, grab the life where I can. There's not a ton of life on this side of the tree, as I'm sure you guys are well aware. I am working on picking up melding now if I had 3 more levels to put into melding. Cast speed, lightning damage, pretty simple stuff. Grab doom casts. I don't bother with crit multiplier because my crit chance isn't high enough to fully benefit from that. Crit multiplier, I think I estimated to be about twice as valuable as crit chance, so this would be like 20 crit chance nodes as far as DPS goes. So it's not useless. Power charge isn't worth 3 points anymore, so I don't even bother with the power charge. Pretty simple pathing. I come down here, I grab Volpack to deal with Reflect. With 2 points, I could easily grab a Jewel Socket as well. Like my next level, I would probably drop this node right here and pick up these 2 nodes. Actually, so pretty simple. It's just efficient pathing. Grab Heart of Thunder. I need Deep Thoughts to sustain my mana. Grab crit. This is global crit chance, so it works as long as you're wielding staff. Crit, life, power charge. It's pretty simple. It's a very straightforward build. I need to grab Righteous Decree in order to support my mana. I don't have enough mana otherwise. So it's pretty simple, but I originally was going to do Blood Magic as a link. But once I started using Pledge of Hands, I figured I could spend 4 points on the tree and 2 rings, pretty much was the cost, and just go with casting my skill on mana, and it's good enough. So that brings me to looking at my rings, right? My rings are very specific. A lot of mana regen on both my rings. I tried to get as much life as I could on them, right? My amulet's actually quite good. I got lucky with this amulet. This has dropped for me a lot of crit chance and crit multi. It's pretty cool, as well as giving a bit of dex requirement. So I'm really happy I got that amulet. I have a so I got the Calmsart and the Pledge of Hands before I really made any money. I didn't have any good draws before I got this. This was grinding chaos recipes and stuff and just buying cards for these. So I just say that to say that you don't need money to actually afford the build. You just need to play, grind, you know. The helmet I have is actually quite good. It's tri-res, life, and mana. It's all good stuff. Gloves, mana, life, and dual res. These I actually did buy. The helm I bought too, I think, and the rings I bought. Boots, I wish movement speed was higher, but you know, say la vie. And belt is pretty mediocre, honestly. I would like to use a Vessel of Inktar. If I was going to continue to plan this build, I would totally get one and drop one of these 2 flasks, probably. I don't need 2 bleeding flasks. And I would pick up a Vessel of Inktar, preferably penetration, but added damage to spells is alright as well. And we'll just quickly go over my links. I have a cast when damage taken. It's level 1 because the things it's linked to, Immortal Call and Warlord's Mark, don't really gain anything with levels. So Immortal Call is mostly for things like the porcupines that explode on death, whipping miscreations, things that hit quickly, repeated fizz damage. This pretty much nullifies their damage. Warlord's Mark is for reflect. It's 2%, which isn't quite enough to prevent myself from dying, but it's enough to keep myself from insta-giving myself. And then Chaos Golem. With levels, Chaos Golem gains 1% fizz damage reduction. It's not really that big of a deal to not have that. So now down here we have a Lightning Warp with Lustration, faster casting, pretty standard. It's pretty fast, but it is buggy, and that's what's annoying here. Yeah, it's really repeatable. If you cast Lightning Warp a second time without moving, it glitches like that, but if you... well, bad example. Yeah, it's glitchy and really frustrating. Anyway, and I'm also leveling in Empower, working on it. The goal is to have this as my 6th link. My current DPS with my build is at about 61, 62k. With level gems, it's probably going to be about 63, 64k, maybe a little bit higher. And getting a 6th link and throwing Empower, a level 3 Empower, would probably boost my DPS to about 75k. So an extra jewel, level 3 Empower, all level 20 gems, I probably could break 80k DPS. So that was kind of the end goal with this build, was to 80k tooltip, by the way. I'm at 61k. I don't have charges or anything right now, or flasks, but I'm about 61k right now. Hitting 80k was the goal. The way Arc works is your damage is easily doubled once you include shocking and penetration. It's easily doubled. In fact, I think it's more than doubled. It's like 2.1 times, and then that's not even including the fact that Arc oftentimes doubles back. So very often, if you had 80k tooltip, you could be hitting over 300k DPS on tanky mobs. So the DPS on Arc is definitely there. Over here, Herald Thunder, Curse on Hit, Assassin's Mark, standard stuff. I would use Herald of Ice if I could, but I don't have any cold damage to freeze stuff with, and Herald of Ice isn't enough by itself. And then I just have Wrath in here. This could be 4-linked. It doesn't actually matter. Yeah, that's the main idea of the build. The main components, if you will. And I do have a build planned. I've made some decent currency in this league, but I have a build planned, and I'll show you. The item I'm about to show you dropped from myself, and I linked it myself. First time I've ever linked a 6-link item, and this is an idea. This is something I'm going to be using in my next build. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching.